You're curious about astrology, so you want to build your birth chart to know what it says about you. Congratulations, you're about to take the first step in your astrological journey. Hi, my name is Elena. I'm a Vedic astrologer. This video is the first video in my Astrology for Beginners series, where I will teach you how to build and read your birth chart step by step, so you can start confidently reading a birth chart and making astrological interpretations. In this video, we will focus on what a birth chart is and how to build one. So, what is a birth chart? Most people think of their sun sign when they think about astrology. Like, if I'm born in March, on March 15th, that makes me a Pisces. But there's so much more to astrology. When we're born, it's not just the sun that moves through a zodiac sign, but other planets and celestial bodies in our galaxy too, like Mercury, Venus, Mars, and so on. A birth chart is a picture of the sky that shows the exact placement of a planet in a zodiac sign as seen from Earth at the time that you were born. Planets and other celestial bodies continuously move through the sky and the constellations that we can see in the sky, including the 12 zodiac signs. At the time that you were born, the planets were moving through one zodiac sign or the other, so this is what the birth chart shows: their exact position in the zodiac sign in the sky. Since the birth chart shows the entire sky, it shows all 12 zodiac signs in it. But how do you know from which point to start understanding your birth chart? The birth chart always coincides with the easternmost point on the horizon at the time and place that you were born. This is otherwise known as your rising sign, and also the first house of your birth chart, the segment of the sky that represents your body, your health, your character, and really yourself. If you're confused, try thinking about a birth chart as a photograph of the sky that features planets in zodiac signs. The photograph was taken at the time that you were born and from the angle of your hometown. Now let's talk about some elements of the birth chart. The birth chart features 9 planets, 12 zodiac signs, and 12 houses. The planets are the active players of the birth chart. They represent specific concepts in life. Like Venus represents love and relationships, Saturn represents hardships and delays, and like so, every planet represents something. They also represent the people in our life. Like the moon is the mother, the sun is the father, Jupiter is children, and so on. If you're curious to learn more about planets, be sure to check other videos in this playlist where I talk more about them specifically. The zodiac signs are the characteristics. They are the attributes and the features, the modalities through which the planets express themselves. For example, if Venus is love and relationships, then for somebody whose Venus is in Gemini, one of the main things is communication in relationships. It's important for this person to share mutual hobbies, have mutual interests, and really have topics of conversation, because curiosity, intellect, and communication are the characteristics of Gemini zodiac sign. If you're curious to learn more about zodiac signs, be sure to check this playlist for a video where I talk about them specifically, as well as my YouTube channel where there might be more videos focusing on each zodiac sign. Last but not least, the houses is another important building block to a birth chart. Houses are areas of life, like marriage, children, education, travel, parents, family, home, and so on. Knowing which house a planet occupies will help you understand where its influence will be strongest. For example, Venus placed in second house of money, possessions, speech, and vision might indicate somebody who might earn their living with Venus-like careers, or somebody who likes to collect works of art, somebody who is very diplomatic and eloquent. It is important to understand that houses are first and foremost segments of the sky. In Vedic astrology, the borders of one zodiac signs match up with the house borders. So one zodiac sign equals one house. For example, if you're born as a Taurus rising, this means that your first house will be in Taurus. Consequently, your second house will be Gemini, third house Cancer, and so on. If you're confused, here's a very simple way to think about this. If your life is a movie, then the birth chart is a script outline. The planets are the actors, the zodiac signs are the roles that these actors play, and the houses are the movie sets where acting takes place. In other words, the planets are the active players in the chart, conditioned by the qualities of the zodiac sign they're in, and they act in specific areas of your life. Now, let's build a birth chart. What you'll need is an astrological software. There are tons of websites and pieces of software that are out there in the internet Some are free, some of them are paid pieces of software. The website that I recommend using for this is vedichoro.com, which is absolutely free, and there's tons of features you can explore if you're just starting out that don't require you to get a paid subscription. This video is not sponsored. I genuinely love this software, and this is what I use in my practice as an astrologer. If you want to use a different software, you're more than welcome to. I will leave a few recommendations in the description to this video so you can try a couple and see what works for you. Once you've selected your astrological software, we'll be using Vedic Horo. We can move on to step 2, which is entering our birth data. You will need to know your date, place, and time of birth for this. Most people will know their date of birth and where they were born. With time of birth, however, I strongly recommend that you check your birth certificate to find the record, or if it's unavailable, ask your parents to get the most precise timing possible. Once you're on the website, it will prompt you to input this data into the fields. Now, if you're using Vedic Horo, be sure to add 00 as seconds when you add the time, otherwise it won't accept it. And then for the place of birth, be sure to select the locality from the dropdown, and this will automatically populate the latitude, longitude, and the time zone into the respective fields. You do not need to search for that information yourself. That would be an overkill. Now, last but not least, make sure that you tick off "I am not an astrologer" when you're on the website, so you don't get overwhelmed with a lot of data which might not mean anything to you at this point. However, if you want to make your life a little bit difficult, or if you know your way around astrological software, you can leave the box unchecked. Okay. Now that you have your birth chart, let's look at what this is. The easiest thing to start with are the letter inscriptions in the chart. This represents planets. This way, VE is Venus, MO is Moon, JU is Jupiter, and so on and so forth. You will see that they're placed in shapes. Some of them are diamonds, some of them are triangles. The shapes are the houses, where the 4 diamonds in the center make up the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house, where the top diamond is the 1st house. You can't miss it. It has an AS inscription in it, which means ascendant, and this is the start of your chart. The way to read the North Indian Vedic chart is counterclockwise, which means the top diamond is the 1st house, the top left triangle is the 2nd house, the one to its left is the 3rd house, the leftmost diamond is the 4th house, so on and so forth. Now, I will be explaining what each of the houses represents, their meanings and connections in the subsequent videos in this playlist, so be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss them. Now, looking at this chart, I can understand why you might be confused, because the top diamond, which is the 1st house, in most cases will not have the number 1 in it. That is because the numbers that you will find in the shapes of the birth chart, the houses, do not correspond with the number of the houses, but with the order number of the zodiac signs. In this way, if you're looking at a chart where the top diamond has number 7, this means that you're looking at a Libra rising chart, because 7 is the Libra number. If you're looking at an 8 chart, this is a Scorpio rising chart, because 8 is the number of Scorpio. Here, for reference, I have all the numbers in order for every zodiac sign in case you're confused. Now, if you can't read which house corresponds with which zodiac sign and where planets are placed at this point, that's completely fine. Vedic Horo does an excellent job of providing this information for you. You can see the information about which planet is placed in which zodiac sign and in which house to the left and to the bottom of the birth chart, depending on what your viewer settings show you. In this view, you will also find some interesting tidbits of information, like who is the Lagna Lord or the chart ruler, which planets might be strong by sign, or what is the sequence of the planetary periods that you live through. All these are very important pieces in interpreting the person's chart and, of course, making predictions for life events. This rounds up the basics about your birth chart, how to build, read, and interpret it. And in the subsequent videos, I will talk about houses, planets, signs specifically. If you're interested about astrology, if you want to learn how your birth chart works, how to interpret birth chart positions of planets and signs and houses and all that fun stuff, be sure to subscribe to my channel and put a thumbs up to this video.